How's it going, everybody? I am Donut. We are watching Daredevil Season 1, Episode 3, Rabbit in a Snowstorm. I assume that'll be like, the camouflage sort of thing, but in what way? How is there going to be a rabbit? Or it could be about the antagonist, that they're a rabbit in a snowstorm. Sort of like trying to find a needle in a haystack. That sort of saying. I assume that's what we're going for there. Could twist it on its head, and we'll find out at the end. I always like sort of trying to predict what the title is at the beginning, and then usually talking about it at the end if it's the reverse. Happens quite a lot. Other than that, let's just get into it. As always, early access reactions, $4 a month. Full-length reactions, $8 a month. It's picture-in-picture. You don't have to sync it up. I do it for you. Check it out. I wish I could fit everything in these YouTube videos, but I just can't. Fair use and all. And I just talk too much. But hey, I watch the episodes twice, take notes and all that shit. You don't have to worry about me missing stuff. And if I do, please leave a comment. I'm sure even with all that, I might miss a thing or two here and there. Anyway, let's get into it. Alright, so we're discussing episode 3 of Daredevil. Don't actually have a whole lot of notes on this one. I feel like we'll actually probably talk a lot about this stuff, especially one in general. But, I actually didn't have a whole lot of notes. But, we have the introduction to Ben Urich, who is our reporter character. He's the guy who's trying to do the right thing, but do the right thing in a sense. Like, he has to work with criminals and stuff like that. And it's just another facet of everything in this world is gray. But he is probably, like, the most just character so far. He's just like a reporter sort of guy, and I'm not sure how he's gonna get tied up into everything else because he's so by himself right now, and he's getting pulled in with Cameron, but I'm not sure if he's being pulled in for like a just like two-parter episode thing here, or if he's going to be a big character moving forward, which I feel like he is. He definitely, like, his actor at least feels like he should be. His actors were really good, so I feel like he's gonna stick around. But we have and it's very thematic with this episode in general, because it was circling around the fact that he can either do what his boss asks him and continue to work on the newspaper and make money off of it and stuff like that, or he could go off on his own and do his own publishing and stuff like that, but he's going to be a blogger, which is probably going to make less money, which means he's not going to be able to keep his, it was his, no, oh, who was it? I actually didn't write it down. I'm going to have to go back and check. The person who's in the hospital. It's his mom, right? But it could be his sister. I don't know if it's his mom or sister. I'm gonna have to double check. I think it's his mom. It's definitely not his grandmother, because that would be way too old. But anyway, he's got to keep her there. So he needs the money. And it's not like she needs the money for some, it's not like he needs to raise a certain amount of money, right? It's not like that. It's not like she needs the surgery. She needs something done to her. It's just like until she dies, a continuous fee that he's having to pay, just to keep her alive. Oh man, and actually that just goes right back into the whole thing of Jack Murdock being so poor that he couldn't even, he has to have his son stitching him up because he can't afford fucking healthcare. And then now we have Ben Urich, who's sort of having a very similar sort of thing going through, like we'll get to it in a minute, but this is a lot of, first let me just say, this whole episode is about the money thing, and just about, nothing being black and white. Everything is a blur, there's, especially with the courtroom stuff, there is no aspect of the law, even as far as the justice system, and the court systems and all that shit, that cannot be twisted, gotten around, bought out, corrupted, or just whatever. There's no facet of the law that cannot be twisted. And, but yeah, so the big thing is just money versus morals. That's the big part of this episode. We have it again with Murdock and Foggy. I always want to say Froggy. I don't know why. It's not like there's another character named Froggy in anything else. I'm just so naturally wanting to say Froggy. But yeah, that was a big thing about them, this episode too. And it's very interesting because, let me just get through all of my notes, because I don't really have many at all. So let me just list off the very few I have before we just get into the long discussion. That's going to be the majority of this. It just goes into it. But, the law doesn't care about your feelings. Absolutely true. But Wilson Fisk is, the other thing I have down here. So let's get that out of the way real quick before we dive into this whole morals versus money debate. So Fisk, I played a little bit of Spider-Man. I've played up to around when Miles was introduced, and then I sort of stopped around there. Just because, not for any real reason, but just because I never finish any video game ever. And so I've also read the Spider-Man, Ultimate Spider-Man. I've read up to Volume 2, I believe, which was like the end of the Fisk stuff. But it really wasn't a whole, I mean, it wasn't the end of it. It was like he like went off to like fucking Hawaii or something. But yeah, so I don't know a whole lot about Fisk. I just know what he looks like, you know, big buff dude, bald. And he doesn't have any superpowers, right? He's just really strong, I believe. He's just like the... He is a public-facing figure, right? But, like, no one that's working for him knows that it's him, or the ones that do are not going to give away his name, because they would just kill themselves because they know what he's going to do to them and everything. But yeah, and so it's the whole thing of, like, whenever, like, you know... when Fisk was taken down, it just created so much more problems because he was the thing keeping everything in check, and even if everything was corrupted, it was corrupted through order. And so when you take out that guy, everything is still corrupted, everything is still terrible, but it's through chaos instead. And there's just, it's always going to be, and that's what they've been bringing up every single episode, every one of these minions is like, take out one, another one's going to take his place. Take out one, another one's going to take his place. But going after the big guy at top doesn't matter either. It's really a futile effort. There's nothing you can do to change it. And it's a horrible feeling, but, you know, it's honestly very, I don't know, it's almost cathartic to have it be so realistic, even though it should be the opposite of catharsis. I can never say the fucking word. It should be the opposite of that, but it almost is in a way just because of how realistic it is, and it's not as much of a fantasy of being like you can get rid of all the bad and even a single district of New York. Like, it's not even like he's trying to get rid of all the bad in New York, all the bad in the world. It's just like, I just want to make Hell's Kitchen nice. And it's like, that's even going to probably be an impossibility. But yeah, so money versus morals. That's sort of the big thing here. And like, to a lesser degree, you can see it with Urch, and him like, the like, oh, do this piece on like reader's favorite colors or whatever. And it's like, he's not doing anything that is morally wrong, but it is an idea that, or it's the concept that he's not doing something that's morally right. And does that make it morally wrong? Is it morally wrong to not do something morally right? I don't think so. I don't think inaction is equivalent to bad. I do think it's good, inaction, bad, in that order, obviously. But yeah, and then on the flip side of it, the more actual side of it, we have Murdoch and Foggy trying to be like, well, this guy's clearly absolutely a criminal. We know 100% he's a criminal. And we're just going to do this case for the money. Because we just need the money. And, like, I really don't know what Murdoch's goal was, if he had a goal besides the money. Like, the money is obvious, yes, but, like, did he have some other reason? Like, obviously getting some information out of Unallic Construction, but he didn't really get any information out of him. He did by beating up his client, but that had nothing to do with the trial or anything. So, I don't know if he had another motive there, but I feel like it is a big part of it, is legitimately the money. Not so much with Murdoch, but definitely at least with Foggy. And Foggy was like, I don't know, I did say that, but it feels wrong, you know. We went in here to, make sure that we're helping innocent people, and that's why Murdoch was there to hear the heartbeat. He knows when they're innocent or not. But yeah, so then we have Fisk, right? And just Unallic Construction in general. With the debate of money versus morals. They are making a hell of a lot of money. Incredible lot of money. Doing very bad things. So, I think this is a good debate to have. A legitimate, honest debate to have. Like, I don't even know how to phrase it, right? Like, would you rather be Murdoch being extremely poor, but being morally right in what you do. And same with Urich. Would you rather be like that? Would you rather have no money but, be able to say that you're a good person? Or would you rather have money even if you have to do horrible things? And you know what? I honestly think both are fine. But, to a degree, right? Like, I think it's a lot of what Murdoch said in this, of the law doesn't care about your feelings at all. And I feel the same way. Money doesn't care about your feelings. Money does not care about your feelings at all. And I don't think it should. The fact, like, what was his name? The guy who... Oh, fuck, what was his name? The guy who found some... made some medicine, whatever, and then, like, upcharged it an insane amount. I can't remember what his fucking name is. Martin Shkreli, that's what it was, or something like that. Everybody hates the dude. Everybody, like, the world was against him. I fucking love the dude. Horrible person, absolutely deserves to be beating the shit out of and shit. But I fucking respect the hell out of him, because he does what I can't do. I wish I could fucking run a meme page where I fucking steal everybody's content and post it on there and make a couple, like, G's, I would fucking love it if I could go rob somebody and steal all their fucking money. I would love it if I could do that shit. I would love if I was a fucking CEO with insane amount of corruption. Hell yeah. But I fucking can't. Because I don't have the fucking intelligence, I don't have the fucking motivation or tenacity to be able to fucking do it. And, I don't know if I have the moralness to it or not. I would like to think that I would be able to do that kind of stuff, but I don't know if I actually could or not when it came down to it. In theory, of course, I might say that I would be able to do it. I'm heartless enough to be able to be a Shkreli and make medicine and upcharge it 1,000 fucking %. I would like to believe that I could do that, but I don't know if I actually could. But I don't hold it against them for doing that. We live in a world where, fuck it, like, why? Yeah, do it. Absolutely, absolutely kill thousands of people for your own benefit. I get it. Are you a horrible person? And if I saw you, would I beat the shit out of you? Absolutely. But I don't think that it's... I don't find it weird that they've done that. I find it natural. That's just the way the world works. They just had the balls to do it. And I mean, there's a lot of stuff that works in that world where, like, I am fine with people being terrible people as long as they're willing to face the consequences if it ever comes to that, right? Okay, so I've completely quit my job to do this because I did make the decision that money is not as important to me as my time. And if that means being homeless, so be it. Right? Like, it's my wallet. This, all 20s. This is all the money I have to my entire name. This is all the money I have to my entire name. Money. Fuck it, man. Money ain't important. I ain't buy shit in the past 2 years, and I can't even afford my fucking cell phone anymore. So, like, what the fuck do I need money for? I can't fucking pay my bills when I even have a goddamn job. So, you know what? If it means me being homeless, it means me being homeless. If it means this isn't gonna work out, and, and shit goes wrong, everything crumbles, and my life falls apart, so be it, right? It's fucking better than wasting my time. I would rather be homeless with all of my time than giving it away to some corporation for fucking pittance. Yeah, so, I don't know, I'm very invested in the whole money versus morals debate, and I think I'm going to really enjoy this show going forward with that themality and everything. And, interested to see if Murdoch and Foggy are going to, start making more money and get a bigger place and everything like that, or not. And, I don't fault anybody for wanting money or like, again, I just said all that shit. I would love to fucking have a ton of money, but I'm not the kind of person who's going to be able to make the amount of money that would make me happy, right? Like, the amount of money that I would want to make me happy would require me to be a pretty bad person. Because even then, I would have to advance in a career high enough to a point to make that money, and it's going to be pretty much impossible to do that if you're not a horrible person. So, you know, I'm fine with having no money. There's a manga called Legend of the Strongest Man Cursed Out. It's actually from the sequel. But in the sequel, he's homeless for like the entire thing. And there's always one line that stuck with me, and it's very true. That, that being homeless, you are closer to happiness than someone who is incredibly rich. Because the amount that they need to do to make themselves happy is a lot less than the amount that a homeless person needs to do to make themselves happy. You know, homeless person, they get a fucking, fish stick, and they're fucking happy. You're a lot closer to happiness in that way. And, I mean, I'm already, in that way, I'm already fucking enjoying life so much more. Like, I can't buy anything, obviously. I don't have the fucking money to do that. Thankfully, I'm in a situation right now I'm still living with my parents right now. I'm about to go live with my fiance. Hopefully this all works out. If not, then it's not like I'm going to be able to continue doing that. Probably. So, who knows what the hell's going to happen. But, anyway, I haven't bought anything in like 2 years fucking anyway. Right? Like, aside from like a game here or there every like 6 months or something. It's terrible. It's terrible. What do you fucking need money? What do you fucking need material goods for? It's fucking pointless. Oh, it doesn't make me happy. What makes me happy is watching TV and time. But yeah, that's it. That's all of my notes. Got really personal there. I'll see you guys for the next one. Till then, get the fuck out of here.